to the Adoption Lounge. I'm Amanda.
And I'm Katie. Thank you so much for joining us today.
This is Marley.
Marley with us again, our little foster puppy.
If you watch some other episodes, you'll probably see that she's been in here. She's basically the new star of the show.
We're going to have to stop calling her your foster puppy at some point.
No, she's just mine forever. But we have our
yes,
first couple.
our first couple.
On the pod, and we are super excited.
Yes, I think it's always really nice to hear someone's story, but also to get to hear it from both perspectives, as sometimes I think the journey isn't exactly the same for both people. Everybody's different.
But, so it's Tyler and Julian. We'll let them kind of introduce themselves, and then we'll start picking away at your journey. So.
Yeah, do you want to introduce yourselves and just tell us a little fun thing about you?
Yeah, tell us about you guys. They're the funnest
I actually
couple
hate
ever.
when people do like that anxiety of like just an interesting fact about yourself. Like, I'm so sorry, but like just tell me a little bit about yourself.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm Julian. I am a fourth grade teacher. I've been a teacher for 16 years. And fun fact, I am a former cheerleader for the NFL. I used to cheer for the Baltimore Ravens.
Is that not the coolest thing ever?
Well, I want you to know also that Amanda and I decided to start our own fantasy league this.
Wonderful.
And why are you laughing? We did
You're very serious about it.
I don't know what that reaction was, but we did a bye week for the first week because we couldn't get it together, which probably goes along with the laughing. But we're going to find out today who the real smarty pants are.
Well, I still couldn't get it together because I didn't pick my team at auto draft because I couldn't figure out how to get into it.
I picked my own team, and halfway through, my sister messaged me on the side to ask me why I had 7 wide receivers. So I'm doing really well. I did not understand that
We're
I
obviously killing it
to fill every position.
I'm
So
never
anyway,
gonna forget
that
about
is
it
super
either.
cool, Julian.
I wanted to be like, hello, act like you're in your 30s.
No,
I felt like my mom. I'm like, how does this thing work?
we're gonna clean up though, because we're gonna be the most annoying members of the team.
Watch us win.
Accidentally, yeah.
But Tyler, tell us a little bit about you and a fun fact about you.
I'm Tyler. I am an assistant principal. I've been in education for 14 years. I don't know if it's a fun fact or not, but I truly do not know how to ride a bike. So that's going to be fun when our little one starts to need those skills.
Don't blame
You
me.
won't be
I have
teaching
told him
them.
plenty of times he needs to get on a bike and he won't try. That ain't my
I was
fault.
gonna say this sounds like a romantic
Julian, why have
date.
you not getting? Yeah, you
This
need
is
to
like-
rent bikes and be like, well, here we are.
Sure, let's get a tandem bike and it
notebook
fall
moment.
over
You
because
need to
I'm
be
trying
like-
to pedal and he don't know what to do.
You need to. It's like when you're trying to teach your kid how to swim. You just push them in the water and figure it out. Just put them on a bike and then just push them.
Oh my god, my husband did that to
I'm
our
gonna
dog
have
once, and
to
I was
at
like, if
some
that dog
point.
doesn't resurface in the next 2 seconds, you are going in after him. I don't care if you can
Well,
swim.
he's still alive. So.
I feel like this should be like a romantic date or something. This should have been like, I'll teach you how to ride a bike moment. Like,
You do know we have a baby, right? Romantic date, when?
no,
When?
before.
Before, oh, okay.
4 times.
Well, then
You
we
have
just
an
go.
excuse now, but there
Nobody
was no
dates
excuse
anymore.
before.
Yeah, don't be
You're
ridiculous.
right.
A date is like our son goes to bed early and we can watch Netflix and order DoorDash.
That's it.
orders.
That's
Yeah.
our date. We have dates all
Well,
the time.
now when you have to teach your child how to ride a bike, you can also teach your husband.
Yep.
We're learning
When that time
together.
comes,
birds,
I'll
one
take on
stone.
2 birds at 1 stone. Yep,
Yep.
that's what I'll do.
We're at the ER all together as a family.
You're co-running a school, but you don't know how to ride a bike. Hilarious.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Yep.
All right, so talk to us about adoption. How did you decide on adoption? And then how did you kind of, once you made that decision, go about researching kind of where to get started?
Well, he's going to talk about the research, easy, because I didn't do any of that. I think we had the misconception that adoption would be cheaper than surrogacy. We just assumed trying to get a surrogate and an egg, that is just going to be way too difficult. Let's just go the adoption route. So I don't
Is that
think we
not
even
true?
did any research on surrogacy because we were like, well, we don't know who we want to carry a baby. We don't know where to get an egg. What do you mean it costs $5? No, we're not doing
No, I mean,
that.
I think you're right,
So-
though. I've heard it's like $200,000 these days.
Oh
Right.
yeah, I heard surrogacy is
Yeah, so
ridiculously
you're right.
expensive. So
You
you
did your
were right
research.
to assume that.
But I think, honestly, I came home one day and I think I handed him a packet and I was like, I think it's time. And honestly, from there, it was just like, all right, let's get the process rolling. But yes, the research part, I obviously, since we are a gay couple, I was researching adoption agencies that were LGBTQ-friendly, that had good outcomes. And that's how I happened upon you guys.
Cool. And so how'd that first meeting go? Were you like,
Well, you better say it went really well.
did you meet with this one? Oh man.
No,
You better say it went really well.
yeah, it did.
No
Honestly,
pressure.
we felt super supported through the whole thing. Anytime we had
good.
questions or anything like that, like you guys responded immediately. You talked us through the process. I think you even gave us some additional information that we weren't quite aware of when it came to like our preferences when looking for adoption. That kind of opened things up for us. So overall, I mean, it was a great experience. Like that's why we want to do the podcast, because honestly we feel like we had overall a great experience with you guys and with our birth mom.
Awesome. Can I ask, so you talked about like additional information. Were there any areas where you were kind of thinking you were pretty set in your decision and then ended up changing your mind?
Well, I think originally we said, and this is us not necessarily understanding or knowing what
Sure.
types of children were up for adoption. We assumed that there were lots of all white children that were up for adoption, and we said we want to give a home to someone different if that's possible. Mm-hmm. So we were very specific in our choices. We said we would want someone who was African American and white, or Mexican and black, or whatever combination we could possibly come up with. But that kind of shot us in the foot, because later on we learned that if the birth mother doesn't know who the father is, that means her baby is not an option, because we were so specific. And once we learned that information, it was, okay, well then what should we do? And our agent told us we should probably switch to any, and your options are going to open up. And immediately we started getting people looking at our profiles. So I think if we had known that a little bit sooner, then we probably would have had our baby a lot sooner than we did. But things worked out the way they were supposed to.
Yeah.
Right.
Were you open to open adoption from the beginning?
I think because it was I don't think we went in with any type of expectation. I think it was more so based on what was going to be best for like the birth mom and us.
Awesome.
And our son. And I don't think we were like a hard and fast, like, no, it has to be closed. But I also don't think we were hard and fast, like, no, it has to be open. I think we were just kind of gonna feel it out. Like, I think Amanda told us, like, it just kind of depends on like the relationship you build with the birth mom and how that goes through the whole process. So I think we were just kind of feeling it out until we, got to the end of it.
I think originally she said she wanted a closed adoption. So we said, okay, then it's a closed adoption. I don't think we were like, no, it has to be a certain thing. We just went with
whatever you want.
Yeah. I love that.
Me too.
So take us through how quickly did you receive an opportunity? What was it like receiving the first opportunity? Take us through your journey a little bit.
Yeah, was it a long wait before you got that first phone call?
So we had initially said, like, when we filled everything out, like, we would take siblings, all those things. So we did initially get some emails about some siblings that were older, like 2 and 4 and things like that. But we did decide to wait. And then I think as soon as we opened it up, we found out in May of 2020 that a birth mom was interested in us. And almost immediately I put the two of us and her in a group message, and we just like started getting to know her.
But I will say, when she first messaged us, the one thing she said, and I can quote it, I am not like these other adoptive mothers. I am 1,000% sure I'm giving this baby up for adoption. I already have 3 children. I cannot take another. So it kind of gave us some reassurance that, because we've heard horror stories where, moms got to the last moment before they were supposed to sign and they changed their mind, which of course they have that right, but she kind of reassured us at the very beginning, before we really got deep into anything, that that's not a decision she's going to make.
That's nice.
So
That's
it made
nice
us feel a lot better.
Yeah.
That is really nice to have that reassurance. And she knows, what goes into parenting, so she knew whether or not she could handle it, which I think is always...
Yeah. I think a lot of expectant moms are much more self-aware than they're given credit for.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was, she was honestly great through the whole process.
Is she the only one... I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
Is she the only one that you spoke to then?
Yeah, she was our first. Yeah.
First time.
How far along was she? Was she earlier on in her pregnancy, later on in her pregnancy?
She was about 3 months along, and
pretty
she
early.
almost immediately reached out to you guys when she found out. She's like, I found out I was pregnant and immediately reached out.
Yeah, we love a type A girly.
She originally said she was going to give her third child up for adoption, but then she found out it was a girl, and she already had 2 boys, so that's why she decided to keep her.
She was like, "Never mind, I'm keeping this girl. I need a girl
that's
in my life."
And she was definitely hooked up with you guys for the third pregnancy, but she got a daughter, so she decided not to. But even through the sonogram process, she said, "I want it to be a girl, but I know it's a boy." And hearing her say that, it was like, oh God, if she has another daughter, is she gonna keep her 2 boys and 2 girls, and then we got to start over?
Right.
She said it's a boy, and she was like, I knew that.
She was right.
I kind of love that.
I know.
I knew I was having a boy the whole time, even though we waited to find out.
I know, isn't that so weird how people can like tell, like they can just have a feeling about what they're having.
Yeah. Aw, that's cool. So did you find out then that you were having or that she was having a boy, like after you're already connected to her? So that was really exciting.
Yeah, so I don't know if we talked to the lawyer or not about this, but she was like, yeah, like, see if she wants you guys to come visit or do anything like that. And we had started having that conversation with her, and she was like, this is the date that they're going to decide the gender. She's like, I would love for you guys to be there. So we actually drove out to Wichita, and we were there when she found out, and we were in the room.
Oh, that's so cool.
All that stuff.
He's being modest. He's being modest. When they said it was a boy, he burst out in tears. He is crying his eyes out when he found out we were having a son. But what I did personally, I looked at her face when the doctor said it's a boy. I watched her, and I'm like, is there a connection? Is she gonna regret this? I don't want her to feel that way. And I looked at her face, and her facial expression didn't change. And I said,
honestly, she's probably just sitting in her own self-satisfaction and her rightness.
Yes. And when we got in the car, she literally said, here's your sonogram. And I'm like, oh my God, she's really going to give us her child. And I felt confident at that point. But like he said, we got to be a part of everything and anything she wanted us to be. We went out to dinner and all kinds of things.
Well, that's so special. Because a lot of people feel like when they go through adoption, they may miss out on maybe some of those moments before a baby's born. But a lot of our families do get to be a part of it, whether it be virtually or in person. So it's so nice that you guys got that moment. How long did you visit with her? Did you get to meet like any of her family or friends while you were out there visiting her?
We were there for maybe 3 or 4 days, and I think we were with her maybe 2 of the days. No, we had just met her. Her family was in Wichita, I think, but it was just her.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's so awesome. Do you feel like you really got to connect with her a little bit more, meeting her in person? And
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
We honestly, from the time we started talking to her, we probably spoke to her every day.
Oh.
Through him being born, and I think it was just nice to be able to like put a face to the name and, you know, just get to know each other, you know, in person versus just over the, you know, via text.
Yeah.
But we texted every day. There was not, from March 12th when she said, I've decided you guys are who we want, every single day until we were in Kansas for his birth. I mean,
I love that because you said you have a closed adoption, so it's nice that you got to know her really well so that you can share things about her with your son if you know he ever has any questions or things like that.
She initially wanted a closed adoption, and then in the hospital, our lawyer actually came over and said like she would like an open adoption, and we're like, sure, by all means.
Yeah.
And I mean, we kept talking. Probably he was born in November, so we probably heard from her through maybe March of 2021, and then I guess she felt comfortable enough that he was safe and we knew what we were doing, and she was ready to move on, and she did. And you know, we're still here if she ever reaches out or wants to open back up or communicate. But I think we were fine with whatever because of the kind of connection we had built with her.
Yeah.
She
nice
asked
that you
pictures
went with
and everything.
Yeah.
Aww.
Well, talk to me about the birth. I mean, did you get a phone call that she was in labor? Did you have a go bag packed?
Did you burst into tears again, Tyler?
Tyler's crying the whole way.
I absolutely did.
Okay.
I think I cried through the whole pregnancy.
Well, yeah. I mean, so she was induced, so we actually drove out there and picked her up.
Oh, that's
took her
good
to
at
the
induction
hospital. Yeah. I mean, you can go from there.
Well, the initially, we got the impression that she no longer wanted to be pregnant. She needed this baby out of her as fast as she could possibly happen. She kept saying, they're going to induce me early. You guys better have your bags packed. We were packed at the beginning of October, knowing that he's not due till November. And she would send us reports of, they think she's dilated already. You better get here. You better get here. And the baby still did not come until very close to his due date.
She's just manifesting.
She was just trying to get him out as fast as she can.
Trying to get it out.
Yes, when they decided that she could be induced, that's when they did it, and we were there for the whole thing. In the room with her,
That's
we picked
awesome.
her up from her apartment, and we were in the waiting room. Like two proud dads waiting on our baby. He came out, and when he came out on his own. There was no, like I say, I had this imagination that I was going to be holding hands and feet, like, come on, push. No, she coughed, and then he coughed, and we threw back a blanket, and he was laying there. And we were like, oh my God, the baby is here. He immediately burst out in
He has
tears.
4 kids as well.
Yeah, I have 4 kids. I get it.
Yeah, he was just laying on the bed.
There, quiet by it. And she was like, she said originally they like done the sonogram thing in there. She's like, I don't feel anything.
Yeah.
Like she said that later on, like he's not in there. And the whole time she had already delivered him and he was just laying in the bed quiet.
Yep.
And we flipped back a blanket after we heard a little baby cough and they emergency, go pull the cord, and I'm like, oh my God, he's here. What did we just miss? And we literally missed the whole thing. Nobody knew he was born. So they say he was born at 3:30, but he had no blood in the umbilical cord, so he had been there for a good 10 minutes.
He had been there for a minute.
Yep, just laying there nice and quiet.
What hospital? Don't say it, but oh my God.
What? Hilarious. And he's
His
just like enters the
concerns.
world and he's like, I've arrived.
Yep.
But I'm gonna lay here a minute.
He's like, don't worry about it. I don't like a lot of attention.
yeah, don't worry about it. I got this, guys.
Completely.
Little Irish goodbye from the womb.
Yeah.
I just love that. He's like, you know what? Don't fuss over me. Just give me a minute.
Yeah.
But they kept
He's like,
checking
don't
her
look at me.
dilation.
I'm so messy.
They kept checking her dilation, and they're like, nope, you're 4 centimeters. So we were like, okay, we've got hours until this happens. Nope,
Right.
we just fell out.
I mean, part of that whole process, though, like, she had asked us, like, if we want to be in the room and all that, and most of it was just, like, whatever you're comfortable with, we are comfortable with,
Sure.
and she was comfortable with almost all of it, so...
Well, yeah, because she's giving birth, so it's like whatever you want. Like, of course you guys would want to be in the room.
Well, that's really lovely, though. I feel like it's still private and personal, and I just love that mentality and that openness.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you guys also gave her the space to feel that way as well.
Well, yeah.
So,
and
I
obviously
mean-
you guys made her feel comfortable enough
Right. That's
to
what I mean.
feel like, she would want you guys there, and
Yeah.
that's special.
Yeah.
So, talk to us about meeting your son for the first time.
What was it like after he fell out?
Well, it was through tears, obviously.
He cried the whole time.
I
But
expected.
it's
That's what I picture now in my head.
Yeah.
Really? I didn't know. I didn't realize that's
Never
what he
would have
did.
guessed.
Yeah, never would have guessed.
It was just amazing. Like, this little human is here in front of you, and, he's under the warmer, and they're doing all the things to him, and you just, like, want to comfort him and tell him it's okay. And, it was something, I'll honestly never forget just seeing him sitting there, laying there and getting all of his stats done. And I think that, like, at that point, it was, like, real. Like,
Yeah.
you are here, and this is, we've both never done this before, so you're in for a ride, buddy.
We all are in for a ride.
Oh my God, like everybody. Like, I remember when my son was born, I was like, holy cow, now I have a whole human.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I totally thought this out.
Isn't it hilarious how they just let you leave the hospital too? Like, are you sure that I'm like equipped to leave? You're just
Well, I
like
was
trusting me with this human?
Yeah,
I
they,
was-
like,
I
give
guess
you a
goodbye.
folder, and
I
they're
was
like,
gonna
good
keep her
luck.
6.5 weeks. Other people just leave. I'm like, this is
No.
not safe.
Yeah, like I just left the next day. Like, thank you for your help. Good day.
Good day to you.
I'm gonna go home now and
Best
hope
of
that
luck.
I don't.
He has a
I don't
social
mess this
security
up.
number, so don't
Yeah.
screw it up.
Yeah,
Right, yeah.
hope I don't mess it
Yeah.
up.
Gaps is
They
in the
gave,
system.
they gave us the folder, and they said, you guys can leave. And we were like, awesome.
Here's a box of formula.
Yeah,
Good
that's
luck.
great.
Yep, here's some formula and some diapers. You can keep
Yep.
the onesie that's on them, and goodbye.
Steal everything
Yeah.
from the hotel room they've already charged Medicaid for.
Yeah.
It's just crazy, right? It's like, well, I guess you trust me, so I guess I'll trust myself.
Yeah.
We had
Well,
to figure it out.
I think what was really
figure it out.
shocking was the first 24 hours we were in the hospital room, he slept wonderfully. We were like, this is going to be awesome. This is going to be perfect. The next night,
Tricked you.
The nurse came in and she was like, "Oh yeah, he thought he was still in the womb. Like she's like, this is what you're really gonna see now." And we were up every 2 hours, crying, hungry, changing diapers.
What's this black stuff coming out of him? Oh my god!
Meconium. Yeah, good times.
It was all a wake up call for sure.
We had to stay in Kansas for maybe 2 weeks after the adoption to finalize certain things. And I remember once we got to our Airbnb with him, I stayed up for straight 72 hours. I did not go to sleep. Every time he coughed, every time he blinked, he moved, I'm like, what's going on? Are you okay? Like I could not sleep. He had to say physically, go get in the bed. I stayed up for 3 days. And I'm like, if this is parenting, this is awful. It's hard. How am I going to
manage? All of a sudden, this person I just met, I trust no one else with, including my spouse, even though they are equally capable. I'm like, I was in that case too. So
I think I would highly recommend, like, definitely plan to stay longer than you think.
That's good advice.
Just get used to the fact that, like, the creature comforts you have at home, you're probably not going to have with you, so you're just going to have to make do.
Yeah.
But I mean, we survived. We were in the Airbnb for about a week and a half, and we got to make it home for Thanksgiving.
Aww.
But yeah.
I bet everyone was so excited.
Yeah, the process takes a little bit longer than you think, but yeah, that's another thing about our story is only the three of us actually knew that this process was happening. We kept it a secret from our friends, everybody, our family.
Except our parents.
Yeah,
they're the only people who knew.
So we essentially surprised literally everyone in our lives with this little human.
Oh my God. I actually think that's so fun. I love watching those videos. Like, People's Nights make the videos where they, like, the whole human.
A lot of families
we just call people over to the house.
Yeah. We have families.
Like, whose baby is that? You're like,
right. Ours.
By the way.
Yeah.
Well, we had the nursery already done upstairs. Probably, if he was born in November, it was finished by August. So we just kept the door closed, and nobody ever goes upstairs, so they didn't know. But when we brought him up, they're like, "What in the world are we looking at? Like, this is his room, and that's him."
They're like, "We've been hiding something from you for 6 months."
Like,
sorry.
Even his grandpa, he like comes down pretty much every day and like lets the dogs out and things. So my mother-in-law would put dishes in the sink and made them dirty, so he would think we were here. We're always at work, so he doesn't. When he's here at 12, he doesn't know that we're gone. We were gone for 2 weeks. He had no clue.
Nobody knew we were gone for 2 weeks. Except
I love the additional effort of making your house look lived in.
Yeah.
Yep. So the person already doing a favor.
Like, I appreciate that.
Like, that is amazing.
Yeah.
That is
she really, she did it.
Left blankets laying on the couch unfolded. I mean, she made it look like we were here.
You need me to do this for you?
She's like, every single day I will set the scene.
Yep, she did.
She had to wash her own dishes later. She's like, can't leave these all week.
But then even Papa figured out, he was like, wait a minute, if y'all were in Kansas, why was I washing dishes? And we had to tell him, man, well, he said, there's always ketchup on a plate. I'm like, I like ketchup, but that was fake.
Yeah.
You're like, I gotta tell you, no one used it. Wasted.
Yeah, nobody. That's exactly what we said. Sorry, that was fake.
Yeah.
That's honestly one of the funniest things I've ever heard. That is so funny.
Now you're a great grandpa. Here you go.
You're like, can't get mad.
Right, can't get mad now.
I remember him coming upstairs, and we heard him go, uh-oh, what am I hearing? Like, you're a great grandchild.
Yeah.
I love that.
So was the big debut Thanksgiving for the rest of the extended family?
So we drove through the night, and I think we got home at like 3 a.m, and I think we literally walked into the house. My mom was here with the dogs. We literally walked into the house. I handed her Kingsley, and I said, here's your grandson. I'm going to take a nap.
Goodbye. We went to sleep immediately.
You seem capable, so
yes.
Goodbye.
Yeah, you raised me like it's great. Here you go.
Yeah, I seem fine.
But then Julian texted all of our friends the next day and said, hey, I really need you to come over to the house, which is weird because normally I text everybody. So they were all like, "Oh God, what's happening?"
Julian texted, "We gotta go."
Yeah, yes, that's why I did it.
And then they all like slowly started rolling in. And actually, what you said, my sister had walked in and she was like, "What you got there?" And I was like, "A baby." And she was like, "Whose baby?" And I was like, "My baby." And she like started crying and
runs in the family.
Everyone just like started walking in, and they were like,
what? And then we had to tell them what we did for the past 6 months that you knew nothing about.
I love that.
Like, like, we've been lying to you.
Yeah.
Yes, completely lying. Like,
Kept something.
we went to see the sonogram in July. He, as an assistant principal, he's got conferences and things that he might go to. So when they said, he told one of his friends that, yeah, I'm at this conference in Kansas for education, and they said, well, since you got the hotel room by yourself, you might as well bring Julian. He's on break, and it'll be free of charge. So we took a trip to Kansas, and that was the lie, and they went with it. Nope, we were going to meet our birth mother.
Gosh,
And
that worked out perfectly.
Yeah, that's so cute. Well, that's a very good story. So how have things been going?
He's actually upstairs with my mom right now. I would say once you get to month 10, it gets slightly easier. But he's everything right now. He's gonna be 2 in November. He's walking, talking. He has
yelling, saying no, throwing things.
Yeah.
Let's not sugarcoat.
So many opinions that we don't ask for, but we get on a daily basis. But he has honestly just brought so much joy to us and our families. And I mean, I wouldn't change a thing. Like, we obviously made the right decision to do adoption, and he's what we got.
Well, I don't know why he didn't come on the podcast to tell us what he thought.
If we let him, he'll tell you.
Oh yeah. Well, actually, he'll be quiet.
Yes.
So his thing is like,
dishes in the house on a daily
Yeah,
basis.
I need to also meet the woman that put the dirty dishes in the house every day.
Yeah, whose mom was that?
I don't know why they're not down here.
That woman is my inspiration.
Mom, you've been requested with the baby.
That's like an elaborate lie, and I just
Bring
love
the
it so much.
baby.
And my mom is like that too. Like, without question, she would just do whatever I asked her.
Yeah.
And then later be like, why am I doing this?
yeah, I mean, we didn't even know she was doing that. Like, she was just like, yeah, I dirtied your house up. Like, you guys live there. And I was like, well, thanks. One, you know how messy we are. But two, you gotta keep up the charade.
Would that be funny if, like, Granddad was like, your
they
house
wanna
is
see you.
messier than usual. Like, who's leaving dishes around?
Okay.
My
Gosh.
gosh. Hi.
Hi.
Kingston.
Say hi.
Hey.
You gonna wave? Say hi.
What is it?
Hi, sweet boy.
Kingsley.
What's his name? Kinsley?
Kingsley.
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 Yeah.
Like King.
Kingsley. King.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
King, yeah.
Kings with a Lee at the
Yeah,
end.
we call him
Chicago,
King.
okay? I just can't talk today. Hi,
He is
Kingsley.
so adorable.
He is so adorable. What do you think about kids in glasses, man?
I know. Why is he so
Not that I want anyone to
adorable?
have struggles with their eyesight, but like, come on.
You are so cute.
We found out maybe right after he turned 1 that he needed glasses, and he honestly has been great with them ever since.
Oh, good.
You want grandma?
Yeah, my son was okay with it. We all had
This
to wear
is
glasses.
this is
though.
grandma that dirtied up the plates while we
Oh
were
my
gone.
gosh, Grandma.
Hi, Grandma.
The way you committed to the lie. We
Man,
love that.
like, I am so impressed by you. My mom would be the same way, so I just love it so
Look
much.
at him pointing like, Grandma, do you see these weirdos on the screen?
She's like, that one doesn't even know my name correctly.
Oh my
Right here.
gosh, I love it.
Oh, thank you so much for letting us see
Yes,
it.
thank you so much for letting us see your family.
So cute.
Okay, bye.
He said, "I'm done."
Oh yeah, my son still does that. All done. Bye.
Yeah, goodbye. Goodbye forever. I'm on to
Yeah,
bigger and
goodbye.
better things.
Basically,
Yeah.
like I am Grammy right now.
Yeah, he's like, I have Grandma.
We are second, third, fourth, fifth choice when she is around.
Let's
I'm
be
sure.
honest.
Same.
Let's be some honesty. Pawpaw
Yeah,
is
Pawpaw's
number
number
1.
one.
Mama
hierarchy.
is number 2. Dada is number 3. The dogs are number 4 and 5, and Daddy is number 6. Let's just go ahead and put it out there. Oh no, he goes and hugs the dogs before he hugs me. Yeah, always. I'm used to it. This is
I love
an
that,
everyday.
Julian. I really do.
I am a second-class citizen when it comes to that child.
So have you guys thought about adopting again?
No. Let me be the one to explain why we're not doing this. Okay, Tyler's father had him when he was 40, and he had already had 2 kids that are older than Tyler. Previous marriage, much older, and he had Tyler at 40, and of course told mom we're not having any more kids, and she said okay. I was 42 when I cut that umbilical cord. And you want me to have another? No, I'm not. I will not be 63 at a 5th grade graduation. I won't. No, I won't.
I say this all the time.
I feel like put Kingsley back on though. I mean, let's get everybody's vote in the family.
What does he think about this?
I'm just kidding.
Well, Kingsley is spoiled rotten by his grandmother,
As
so
you can see.
he would never want someone else to come into
So
this
he is
picture.
okay.
Oh yeah,
Yes,
completely fine.
He is perfectly fine with
terrible.
the limelight and being the only person that she has to care about.
I love that personality trait.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
how it should be. My daughter, everyone was like, oh, like every time I was pregnant after her, they'd be like, oh, I bet you wish it was a girl. And she's like, no, I want to be the only princess. Thank you.
He
I'll
just
take a
wants to
dirty
be
brother.
I feel like when she got older, she was probably like,
I know. Now we have a bunch of boys, so now she's
Yeah.
probably rethinking that.
yeah.
She's probably like, never mind. We need some girl energy.
Yeah. No,
so-
Mom she had actually like tricked us at one point. She was like, "Oh my gosh, guys, it's twins," and we were like,
There's no way.
There's
no way.
I was like, my mom would have had to move in. Like, she would have had to be like full time nanny, like two at the same time.
She kept this up for a good 2 or 3 hours,
Mm-hmm.
and she was like, "Yep, the song." They said they hear 2 heartbeats. Like, you guys gonna be ready for both? And we were like, "What are we gonna?" Like, we're texting separately. What are we gonna do? Like, we got one crib. Like, they can't sleep together. Like, panicked. And then eventually, she's like, "I'm just kidding. It's just one." Like, how?
I would have been
you?
like, I'm retiring from adoption now. Thank you.
Yep. But I'll tell you, we have one of our other friends, Alyssa. She has a 4-year-old son. He comes and spends the night all the time. So
Yeah.
him and Jackson are really close. But
I love
one
that.
night, Tyler is giving them both a bath. And after he gets them out, dries them off, doing all the dad stuff, he said, "You're right. We just need just one."
Mhm.
And I'm like, "Oh, so
Yeah.
now you figured it out. You understand how difficult
trying
this
to
is."
bathe too, and then
It's all fun and
wasn't-
games.
Yeah, Kingsley wasn't old enough to like help himself yet, so I was like getting him ready, and then Jackson's in the bathtub, then I'm pulling him out. Like I was sweating by the end, and I was just like,
Or, so he probably thinks he
wanting-
can do everything himself, but he
Yes.
can't. So.
correct.
Well, and
So that
sometimes
kind
once
of
you're out of a stage, you're like, oh, I made it out alive.
Yes.
Let's not try it again.
Right.
Yeah,
Later,
no.
you're like, we
Right.
love that stage. It's so messed up. It's just
Now
a
we're at
trauma
the stage
response.
where his crib was a normal crib, and
Yeah,
one day
he's
decided to knock on our door at 7 in the morning. We're like, "What? How did you get out of bed?" And he just literally climbed up on the changing table, opened the drawers, stepped in one drawer, opened another drawer, made some stairs, and came banging on our door, "Dada! Dada!" at 1. And I said, "Oh, no, we can't." Now he has a toddler bed. He just gets out of the bed, opens the door with his onesie thing on where his feet shouldn't be able to move.
His little sleep
Hangs on the door at 3 o'clock in the morning. "Hello, I'm up."
I love
There's a
that.
little shuffle.
I'm up.
Yes.
Why are you not?
Yep, that's him.
I need
and
a snap.
I mean, I'll open the door and he's just laying on the floor in front of the door. And I'm like, "Nah, you going back to bed, buddy. We don't get up till 6. Stop it."
That is
I would have left him there on the floor.
so
I don't
funny.
do early mornings. I don't know why I have 4
Right.
kids then, but
Yeah, on the weekends we don't set an alarm. He'll wake us up.
Yeah.
He goes to his
Yeah.
little, what is it, Tony, and puts his little Tony up there and starts playing his music. And eventually, when he's ready to come out, he just opens his own door and comes and bangs on ours.
Yeah.
yeah. I love it.
I don't need to do that with 2 of them. I don't need 2 of them to do that. I'm good.
Yeah, especially at different times because
Yes.
like it would have been fine if you had twins. They'd have been on the same schedule, hopefully.
Correct.
But now you'd have 2 on 2 different schedules. You'd have
Yep.
one at 3 o'clock and then one at 6 o'clock.
And then you got to go to baseball while I go over here to cheerleading. No. We're going to be at the same practice at the same game. I'm tired.
Yeah.
Amanda's a baseball mom. She's like, say less.
Travel baseball, by the way. So
Goodness.
that's
Don't
my
remind
life.
me That it's
That is
Yeah.
my life. Yeah.
I hate it.
Yep.
I love it, but I hate it.
She just hates it because I have to disappear
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
because who knows where I'm at.
Selfish.
Yeah.
I mean the field, but what field? Who knows? And in what city?
Yeah.
We don't know.
So much to look forward to, though. So
Mhm.
fun. Well, like we always like to ask, as a last question, if you have any advice you would offer to families that are currently in the waiting period, or considering pursuing adoption. Any
Be patient.
words of wisdom? Be patient.
Be patient. And for me, it was think about the choice you're making. Because I know we all want to give children the best home they can possibly have, but are you sure this combination is really working for what you want? Or don't compromise what your ideals are for who you want to adopt from, what their relationship looks like. I wouldn't say don't rush into, I got to get a baby, so let's get one. Like, think
Yeah.
about it. Is the mother could be difficult and ask you for things that you can't necessarily do, or be someone
Right.
who's
Maybe it's not a good fit.
Right, not a good fit. Make sure who you're hooked up with is who actually fits for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's great advice.
I would say that you'll know when it's the right situation.
A
You'll
lot of
feel
families say that. I love that.
and also just be open with the birth mom. Don't hide anything. Like, I heard her snort.
I told you it wasn't me. I warned you. I warned you.
Marley's just really
Marley
Yes.
agrees with me, Tyler.
Yeah.
Well, good.
But yeah, just be open. I mean, you have to think about it. Like, they're giving you a part of them, so share as much as you can with them so that they know that at the end of the day they're making the right decision.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
I do. I love that.
And I think
right,
that was
boys.
something she said to the lawyer before she signed the final paperwork. She says,
Really?
"I know I'm making the right decision," and that made us feel
That's
good.
really special.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I feel like you made that effort for her
Yeah.
to show up as well. So I think
I mean,
that's
that has
really
everything to do with you, knowing that, you made her feel like very
Yeah.
comfortable and confident with her decision.
Yeah,
I think that's so important.
for sure.
And we kept her
Aw.
open and like with anything that she like, even while once he was born and they bring him into the room with us, eventually she texted us, "Can I see him?" She was across the hall in her own room. Of course you can. And we took him over,
Yeah.
she held him, she fixed it, she swaddled him, say, "Y'all are doing this wrong," and she fixed it, like that kind of thing. Like she's like, "Y'all are swaddling this wrong," and then afterwards, "Here's your son, he's really cute." Like she never talked about him like he was hers, even though he
Yeah.
is.
Wow, that's
She was like, "Your son is
interesting, yeah.
adorable. Here you go." And I'm
Yeah.
like, wow.
Aw, that's
We wanted to keep the relationship as long as we could.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's really special. I love that she's like, I've done this before and you're doing
Yes.
it wrong. Let me give you this offering of knowing how to swaddle.
yeah.
Yeah.
I can do a wicked swaddle because my son is an escape artist.
I can do a really good swaddle.
Yeah.
It took a
Yeah,
lot of
she
practice
was real
though.
fast.
Like I have some pictures where I'm like, I have to take a picture just to remember how wrong I just did the swaddle, so I don't do it again.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
And then you do a really good one, and you're like, wait, how did I do that?
I know. I feel like it can't be replicated all the time.
Right. Well, thank you so much for spending some time with us and letting us see
Yeah.
your son. That was so special.
That was so
No
fun.
problem.
Yeah.
I hope you guys enjoy your evening and send me. You have to keep in touch and send me pictures. I want to
Yes.
see.
Please.
Okay.
We've got plenty.
Yeah.
I'll tell you that. My whole phone.
My whole phone.
I understand.
Really.
All right,
thank you
guys.
so
Thank you.
much.
And
Thanks, guys.
keep in touch.
Yeah, keep in touch. Bye.
All right.
Bye.
Oh my God, they were the best.
Marley is doing her. You want to do our hand thing? Look at, I remembered. Marley, you're doing so good. Only one big snort. Only
Yeah.
a few.
She just wants to say, hi, give a
Yeah.
contribution.
All right. Well, thank you so much for being with us again, and we'll have
Yeah.
hopefully some more stories from families soon.
Yeah, and if you have any questions that you want us to ask any of the
Yep.
the
keep
guests,
sending questions.
let us know. Send
Yeah.
questions in.
Yeah.